Hey there, Mary Costelli with PCC Wellness and Recreation back at the Lucero Library here on the East Side for another Wellness Where You Are section. And so tonight we're going to talk about personal hygiene. And you might be like, how does that really play a role in your health and wellness? And it's actually pretty important to our health and wellness. So what is personal hygiene is really just taking care of our health and our well-being by maintaining cleanliness of our body, of our clothing, and of our personal space. And the reason that this is so important to our health is because we have different bacteria and viruses that live on our skin and on our clothes. And if we're not regularly cleaning that, it can actually make us sick, make us feel unwell, lead to different types of potential illnesses and just making us feel a little bit bad. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of our personal hygiene as best as we're able to help reduce the chances that we might become sick from some of those bacteria and viruses that live on us. So there are four main categories to personal hygiene when we're talking about it. And hands and teeth, they are part of our body, but they have some of their own specific stuff. So I count them into their own separate categories. But yes, they are part of the overall body. So we're going to start over here with just our general body. So there are a few different things that we want to make sure we're doing to take care of the personal hygiene of our body. So that would be showering or bathing on a regular basis, trying to at least wash our body off at least every day. So we want to shower or bathe. Now, some folks might not have the ability to hop in the shower or fill the bathtub with water every single day. And so a way that you can do this is to get a washcloth, get it wet, put a little bit of soap on it, and then clean your skin off that way, rinse out the soap, and then wipe off the soap from your body and dry off, especially some of the more those areas that we think of more frequently, so like under our armpits, in the groin area, feet, and then we'll get to hands in a little bit. But just cleaning your skin head to toe every single day. The other thing we want to do is make sure that we're washing washing our hair a few times a week. So this is going to be different based on your type of hair. And what those different needs are. And so not everyone washes their hair every single day, and that can actually not be great for your hair. So washing it, a few times a week is what we want to make sure that we're doing with that. Clothing. So it's not just our body in and of itself, just our skin and our hair that we want to take care of. We also want to make sure that we're wearing clean clothes. Now, this is something that also might be challenging for some people, and that's absolutely okay. We want to meet you where you're at. And so what you can do is, if you are able to, you can wash out things like socks and underwear, any sort of undergarment. If you have t-shirts that you wear frequently, you can wash those in the sink and then hang them over chairs or something to dry, so that at least some of those things that are directly on our skin are getting washed a little bit more frequently, if we're not able to launder everything in a wash machine or a dryer every single week or whatnot. So you could toss some of those clothes in the sink with a little bit of soap. You can actually, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put laundry soap in the sink with it, and I scrunch my stuff around. I actually do it with my masks. I don't put those in the wash machine. I wash them by hand, and I scrunch it around and kind of rub them together a little bit. Rinse them out, wring it out, and then I hang them up to dry, and I'll either hang them over the shower or on the back of a chair. So making sure that we're wearing clean clothing as often as we're trying to shoot for every single day, but definitely our socks and those undergarments. We want to wear clean socks and underwear every single day. And this all goes back to that helping reduce the amount of germs that are on our body. There are germs that are good for us, and bacteria and germs can be good for our immune system. It can help build it up, but too much of it can overwhelm it, and that's where we can become sick. The other thing that having good body and clothing, personal hygiene is important for, especially for younger people and anybody, but definitely in those formative years of our lives, is that it can also make us smell bad, and it might impact the way that we feel about ourselves and our relationships with other people. And so it can help improve our self-esteem and the way that we see ourselves, as well as improve our relationships with other people if we're bathing regularly and wearing clean clothing. So that is kind of like the overarching thing we want to do with our overall body hygiene. One more piece to that is that if sometimes if you're not wearing socks with your shoes, your feet might get a little bit stinky, and so you can soak those in the bathtub or in a little like tub of water or something. Get a little bit of soap and wash those in the evening. Sometimes when I get home, I have to do that too, just depending on what shoes I wear, because some shoes we don't wear socks with at all. And so keeping your feet clean as well. The second piece we have are our teeth. So we want to take really good care of our teeth, as good of care as we possibly can, to help reduce any sort of like cavities or gum disease, any sort of mouth issue we've got going on. So of course, we want to brush twice a day. So 2 times per day, we want to brush our teeth. If you don't have a toothbrush available, you can put a little bit of toothpaste on your finger and just like rub them over your teeth. We also want to be flossing in between our teeth, and we want to do that at least 1 time per day. And this is really important. A lot of folks skip flossing, and this is important to help reduce gum disease and any sort of like bad stuff going on in between our teeth. And so we want to be brushing twice a day. You know, generally people say, you know, a morning and night, and then flossing at least once per day. And then if you're able to, visiting your dentist on a regular basis. So getting those twice a year. So every 6 months, so 2 times per year, visiting the dentist for that preventive care. And then of course, if there are any problems, if you're having any pain, any sensitivity, like if cold bothers your teeth or something, letting your dentist know that, like being honest with the hygienist and the dentist and kind of letting them know that, so that we can take super good care of our teeth so that they don't fall out. We don't get things like the cancers in the mouth and stuff like that. Then we have our hand hygiene. And this one I put in its own category because we've got to take a little bit of extra care with our hands because we use them for a lot of things. And so we want to be washing them frequently to help reduce the spread of germs, bacteria and things like that, especially from person to person. Because if we touch a door handle and we have something on our hands, the next person who comes by and touches the door handle, they're going to pick that up. We're going to pick up whatever the previous person came and might have left on that door handle. So we want to make sure that we're taking good care of our hands. So that means washing them for at least 20 seconds with warm soapy water. If that's not available to you, at least using hand sanitizer to help kill some of those germs that might be harmful. And there are lots of different times we want to be washing our hands. So we want to wash them after we use the bathroom. Every time. After we've been outside and maybe we're, you know, working on a car or we're out on a bike ride, we're playing out in the yard. Just any time after we spend time outside, we want to wash our hands. After touching or playing with pets, we want to be washing our hands. And then after we eat, we also want to wash our hands. And then of course, anytime that they're dirty. Oh yes, this is important. After you prepare food, before and after you prepare food. So eating and then food prep, I'll put here. So we want to do before and after with both of those, especially with food prep. So if we're making some sort of meal or snack, especially if we're touching raw meat or handling eggs and stuff like that, we definitely want to be washing our hands. And again, that's to help reduce the spread of bacteria and viruses. So with the food prep piece, it's like we want to be washing our hands so we're not cross-contaminating things, so that like maybe we are handling some chicken, I wouldn't want to put my hands in my mouth after touching raw chicken because that could give me salmonella, which is going to make me have a pretty bad stomachache, or other types of foodborne illness. So we want to make sure that we're washing our hands frequently. And again, that's with warm soapy water for at least 20 seconds, which is the length of like the happy birthday song and I believe the ABCs. So that's our hand hygiene. The last piece is personal space. And so this is just whatever space, the items, the things that belong to you. So keeping your home neat and tidy, clean, or your bedroom, just whatever your living space is. So we'll just put some examples here. And I'll get specific on some of the rooms in a, oh, I almost spelled that way wrong. Yeah. So making sure that we're maintaining some cleanliness within our personal spaces. So not only do those germs live on our bodies, but they also are within our household as well. And so we want to be making sure that we're cleaning frequently used common spaces like the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, definitely on a regular basis. Going through your bedroom and putting dirty clothes in a hamper, putting clean clothes away, folding them and putting those away so that you're not mixing up what's clean and what's dirty. Dusting things to kind of get rid of the dust that's there, vacuuming or sweeping, putting food in closed containers, especially, I know here there are some areas where we just have a lot of bugs. I mean, there are bugs in lots of places and they get in. And you could spray all the time and they're still just going to be around. And so we want to make sure that we're putting food, especially if we have to store it in a cupboard or a pantry, that we're putting it in closed containers to help reduce ants and cockroaches and things like that coming in and getting into our food, as well as other types of critters. If you have cooked food or food that needs to be refrigerated, putting that in closed containers and putting that in the refrigerator as well. And again, that's just to kind of keep things clean, as well as reduce the likelihood of critters getting in the house or us getting sick because of stuff. We don't know if it's got something sitting out. So if it's something that has to be cooked and it's sitting out and we don't know that it's been sitting out for hours, you can eat something and that might make you sick if it's not properly stored and then heated up correctly again. And so keeping our personal space clean as well to kind of help improve and protect our health and our well-being. And like I said, this is about reducing the likelihood of becoming sick. And it's also about just how we feel about ourselves. Our physical health is important, and our mental health and emotional health and our social well-being are just as important as that physical health. And so taking care of your personal hygiene as best as you're able to. And like I said, I know that some folks don't have the ability to do all of this stuff all the time, but as best as you can, taking care of your personal hygiene can help keep you safe and healthy. And also it has been shown to have a positive impact on the way that people feel about themselves. And we know that when people feel good about themselves, that kind of translates out of us. And it improves our lives in a lot of different ways. So that is personal hygiene, kind of like 101, really quick. I do want to mention that there are different times in our lives, particularly when we are hitting and going through puberty, where these functions of our body that kind of produce different stuff from us amp up. And so these things, you might find yourself, if you are going through puberty or you have a child or an adolescent in your house going through that, being like, okay, things feel a little bit different right now, and I need to shower more, or we're going to have a different conversation about stuff like this, about maybe changing clothes a little bit more frequently or that kind of thing. And so just knowing that at certain times in our lives, these processes get kind of heightened. And once we get a good routine established, it doesn't feel like such a chore. It's just like, okay, it's just a part of my day. I get up and I take a shower and I brush my teeth. And then it just becomes a very routine type of thing. So I hope this is helpful. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another Wellness Where You Are session. this library is so amazing, and it's so beautiful the way the sun is hitting it right now. If you're able to, when they're open, get out, come over here, check out some books. They've got some really awesome digital virtual programming that they have out there available. So if you're not able to come into the library or anything like that, just check out their website and see what kind of virtual resources they have available that may be of interest or helpful to you. Have a really wonderful evening and take good care of yourself.